Wow.
I got you! Oh my god!
I missed. God.
That beard was spongy ass nigga, man. That beard is spongy.
Come on, lads, on the side, man. Who's that? No name.
Right here. Got a foot. Right here, down, right here. Oh my god. Bro guys are eating though, man.
No, like, I just have no
Hey, man.
close enough. What are you? He's at the home, like, this is like, Mario, go. See, fight fucking guys right in front of you.
What's up, YouTubers? Today's video I'll be discussing how to earn Diamond Master in Escalation. And guys, I want to let you guys know that it took me almost 2 months to get this fucking rank. Like, the amount of work and the amount of time and effort I have put into this game mode is wow. I played so many matches, won so many games, and yet since a new ranking system has, you know, messed up Gears of War, I guess, the fact that if you lose one time, it could possibly make you D-ranked. So, guys, I'm gonna let you guys know right at the bat that getting Diamond Master in Escalation is very difficult. You have to be, how should I really explain it? You have to be probably one of the best Gears of War players, or you have to be really pro, really insane. And not only that, you have to play with a squad. I'm gonna tell you this right at the bat. If you're playing by yourself, the chances are you're not going to get Diamond Master. You're not. And if you manage to even get Diamond Mastered without a squad, you're probably the best Gears of War player in the world, hands down, because this rank was difficult to get, guys, and the amount of work and effort I had to put again, it was insane. And I didn't think I was ever gonna get this rank. I remember there was a time where I was gonna make a video on how to win matches Escalation and saying how to win Diamond 5 Master, because I remember I was 98% Diamond 4, and then the ranking thing happened, and then I lost one time and I D-ranked to Diamond 3, and I almost said to myself, you know, I'm gonna give up, but I decided to put my foot down and said, fuck it, I'm gonna try again, and look, I got it, and holy crap. So I'm very happy to earn Diamond Master. It's very satisfying, and oh man, it was difficult. It really was difficult. But anyway, guys, if you guys don't know what Escalation is and you're interested in playing this game mode to whatever reason you want to, basically Escalation is a round-based, ring-based objective mode with execution rules. Everybody doesn't start out with a loadout. Everybody starts with a Lancer and a Nasher only. There's no weapon in the map in the beginning, and there's 3 hills. So basically, Escalation is a mixture of domination and King the Hill. And what I mean by domination is, like, you know, Call of Duty domination. If you're very familiar with that, then now you know. But guys, I'm gonna let you guys know off the bat, this is the most competitive game mode ever and the most difficult. It's insane what you had to go through, and they're probably the best Gears of War players in the world play this game mode right now as I speak. Plus execution. In Escalation, man, there's nothing but insane teamwork. And if you want to get really good at Escalation, well, you have to be really good with the Nasher and the Lancer. You gotta be really good at both of those weapons, even the pistol. Now, if you're just a straight up Nasher player, you're not gonna survive in Escalation long. Many pro players out there know how to use the Lancer very well, and they know how to crossfire very well, and they're just able to they're gonna be able to down you basically. So you have to be really good at taking cover, crossfiring. You gotta be able to learn. You gotta learn how to use every weapon in the game. Plus, you gotta learn teamwork. You have to play with a full squad. It's no exceptions whatsoever. If you're playing by yourself, you will get your ass handed by many good players. Plus, there's gonna be so many good players as a full squad. It's crazy, man. But Escalation is a very fun game mode, and it's very satisfying to win matches for sure. If you're not about teamwork, I'm letting you guys know right off the bat, you're wasting your time playing this game mode. Unless you just don't care and just playing for fun. But I'm telling you guys, if you're trying to earn Diamond Master, you have to absolutely try your hardest to have a full squad. And not only that, your skills have to be really good. So basically, you gotta learn how to use a Lancer and Nasher. And remember that competitive mode is different than core mode. Competitive mode and escalation execution, basically the Lancer is weaker and the Nasher has a shorter range. It's a little bit weaker too, but to me, I like it better than core mode. I feel like since I've been playing a lot of competitive, I think competitive is way more superior than core mode. Core mode is kind of broken, the fact that like every weapon that you active reload instantly downs people easily without taking not too much skill. Competitive mode requires a lot of skill, and everything just plays a big role in this game mode. Now, one thing about escalation is the first round, nobody starts with a weapon, nobody starts with anything. You start with a Lancer, the Nasher, the pistol, and the smoke grenade, and from there, everybody's complete equal. There's no fighting for other weapons. Now, whoever's MVP that lost in next round is able to put a new weapon in the map. Now, here's some things I have to discuss about this. It may seem as cool that you place a weapon in the map and somehow you may think that as a team with your squad you're going to be able to win that weapon. Now for example, you put the boom shot or long shot, best believe it's going to be very hard to get that weapon. There's going to be many good pro players out there are going to try their absolute hardest and not let you get that weapon. And not only that, if you put a weapon that a player is very good, for example like a long shot, and somebody knows how to use that weapon, it's going to be quite devastating, the fact that you put the weapon for them. So that's something you have to keep in mind what you're going to go through from doing that. It's just crazy, and especially if you're facing really good players like PC gamers, especially if they're really good, the long shot is going to be the best friend for sure. So that's something you have to keep in mind. So try your hardest not to put a weapon that you're not 100% sure that's going to help you in the long run. So that's what makes this game more competitive, and this makes you really think how you're going to play it. It's very competitive, and it requires some strategy behind this. So that's why I really enjoy Escalation. It's really fun. Another thing, guys, is that remember that you don't want to die whatsoever. If you die, it's just a big advantage for the other team, which is obvious that if you always die in Gears of War, it just helps the enemy team. But in this game mode, guys, here's the issue. If you die, the first round is about 10 seconds, and each new round increases by 2 or 3 seconds. And the highest, I believe, is 22 seconds. Can you imagine dying and winning 22 seconds to spawn? So my tip for you guys is, if you notice you're losing and you're still alive, run back to your home base. Because if you don't, basically the enemy team is going to be able to overrun you and take over the hill and win the round. So you want to try your hardest to stay alive and stall them. Remember, if you stall them, your teammates are going to be able to come back from spawn and try to help you. So it's really important if you go choose your fights very carefully. I've seen many people out there just rushing and try to finish them off, and they see that most of their teammates are dead. Like for example, I remember like we will all go to the objective B and Foundation, for example, and at least 4 of them die, and then one teammate knows he can beat the other squad if they're all working together, and they just push you and then just die instantly. That's a huge disadvantage, and that's going to get you to lose a round. So I'm just saying you have to choose your fights very carefully. You can't always rush. It's not the answer, but doesn't mean you can't pull off. But I'm just like warning you guys that a lot of people out there are gonna outsmart you. Another tip what I like to do, guys, is if I feel like my team loses a fight for a second and then I see the enemy team trying to push the home objective, I obviously am going to defend the home objective and stall as long as I can. And once my teammates spawn, we're able to kill them off, and then basically that's our chance to take over their objective. So you have to really learn how to play defensive and stall. So it plays a huge role. And sometimes sticking around other enemies' hills can work very well too, if you feel like they're not paying attention to you. Another big tip for you guys to be very successful in escalation is you gotta be able to learn how to play on the map. What I mean by this, you gotta learn all the corners, the angles, how to crossfire with your whole squad. If you're very familiar with the map, obviously the way you could be very familiar with the map is constantly playing the map, obviously. But remember, it's Foundation, Harbor, Reclaim, and Lift, Apex, and Lift. Those maps are very great for escalation, and thank God didn't add old school maps in Gears of War for escalation. That would have been stupid, broken, and it would have been very silly. But Foundation is probably my favorite Gears of War 4 map. It's so balanced and just a perfect map. Like everything is just, I don't know how to just 100% explain it. Just the map itself is just perfect for you to play. Everybody's playing equally in that map. But like I said, if you know how to play on the map, I promise you guys you're going to be able to conquer the enemy team, especially when they don't know how to crossfire or use the Lancer. The Lancer, that's why the Lancer plays a giant role in Escalation. The fact that you can shoot someone from a distance and down them and then finish them off. So even though you have to kill them at close quarters because it's basically execution rules. Another thing is, guys, remember the Gnasher has less damage and less range. So you're more forced to play even more close quarters. That makes sense. The Gnasher doesn't have as much power or distance and is in core mode. But you guys might not like that, but I kind of felt that way too, but I got used to it, and I have to say I definitely love competitive mode better than core mode. So the Gnasher and the Lancer just feels a lot better. And of course, when you active reload the Gnasher and the Lancer, it gives you a slight boost of damage advantage towards your enemy opponent. So the way I like to do this is if I'm rushing an objective and I know the shotguns are going to be able to reach them, obviously I'm going to choose a Lancer over the Gnasher. But when I'm about to get into a huge Gnasher battle, that's when I like to active reload my shotgun. So I got that advantage towards my opponent. So you got to really strategize how do you got to active reload your weapons when you're about to engage an opponent. So that's something you need to take account right there. Now guys, remember Escalation, there are 3 hills that you have to conquer. Well, you don't have to necessarily conquer them, but you definitely need 2 hills as long as you can. Now, here's what happens when you at least get 2 hills. 2 hills obviously is better than 1 hill, and you're going to be able to have more points faster than it is with 1 hill. But here's another issue that some people think they can do. Some people often forget that even though if you have 2 hills for a long time, you get a lot of points. Enemy teams still could try to capture the 2 hills, and after that, if they are able to capture your home hill and get all 3 hills, the round automatically ends. So there's some ways to defend your home hill. If you feel like you already have 2 hills, you don't need necessarily 2 hills to win the match. For example, like if you have like 160 points and your enemy team has 50 points and they manage to capture 2 hills and you still have 1 hill from your home, well, that means that all you have to do is just defend until the round ends because you're already close to 210 points to end the round. And now the enemy team has no choice to make a strategy to try to capture the home hill. So it becomes very chaotic from there. Now what me and my squad like to do most of the time is instead of just trying to get the hill immediately, what we like to do is try to Lancer or just Gnasher the opponents out and try to conquer and control the map and just crossfire as much as we can. That keeps the enemy team struggling from trying to get the hill, and obviously when you finish them off, then you could get the hill back and pretty much you're going to be able to win the match. And it's very hard for an enemy team to try to strategize and try to capture the hill again once our team locks down the whole entire map. So that requires a lot of teamwork, and this is why I 100% advise you to have a full squad that can communicate and learn how to crossfire and learn how to hold the map. So that's why it takes so much skill to play this game mode. Here's what I often also see too. Like I see many enemy teams out there, like I said earlier, they like to just rush the hill and some people don't even care if they get rifled down and just get destroyed by the other team. They just go for the hill for some odd reason and instead of putting up a fight. If you decide to do that, you're just going to lose, and there's no possible way you're able to earn Diamond Master. So I don't know, man. There's just some weird, strange people out there. But if you're struggling to do that, try your hardest to be patient, because being patient is going to help you win the match. If you can strategize and learn how to really use all the weapons, and that's why, like I said, this game mode takes a lot of skill. But that's why I'd be seeing a lot. I'd be seeing a lot of people just straight up rushing the hill instead of taking cover, and then they just get Lancer and Gnasher down. And it's just very weird and strange that people do that. So you don't always have to try to capture the hill immediately. Taking out your opponents first is much easier to do that, and then from there you're able to take over the hill. That's if you can. Of course, if the enemy team's not fighting for a certain hill and they're fighting a different direction, then yeah, take the hill from there. And once you do that, find a way to flank them and try to take their home hill, or just try to help your teammates. Because I like to say I see a lot of enemy teams out there that, for example, if they're running a 5-man squad and they're rushing your home base instead of going to the middle objective, what I like to do is just get the middle objective, and from there try to take over the home spawn and just try to shoot them from behind their back and finish them off. So that's a neat tip right there. But just don't forget that once someone dies, just look on the map and see if they're coming back out of spawn. And the respawn time lasts about 8 or 9 seconds, so don't try to fight them all the way in spawn when they have spawn protection. So it's really annoying when you're going through something like that. Now my next tip, guys, is that try and get their home hill is obviously the hardest hill to get. If you already have 2 hills and you're winning the battle but can't really win their home hill, then my advice to you is just don't engage at all. You don't have to always get their home hill, try to end the round immediately. You could just stall with 2 hills and eventually you'll win the round right there. But of course the first round is the hardest to try to get the home hill because the respawn time is about, I think, 8 seconds. So the enemy team is going to be respawning pretty quickly. But if it's like later down the round, like 4 or 5 rounds later, then it's going to be much easier to get their home hill because when somebody's already dead, it takes about 15 to 20 or 22 seconds for them to respawn depending on the round. So it gets really crazy from there, and this is why it's so important to not die at all. So that's why I keep telling you guys, you have to try your absolute hardest not to die. And if you feel like you're facing an opponent that's better than you, that's outgunning you, out wall bouncing, or destroying with the lance or the nasher, stop trying to face that opponent. Just go to a different direction. Or if you feel like you're not doing good playing offensive, then my strong advice for you is play defensive. Just hold the hill, you know, hold your home hill or hold angles and start spotting and start telling your teammates where they're coming from. So it's very important to communicate, and it's so important for you to have a mic when playing this game mode. So there's other alternatives out there for you to play if you feel like you're not doing good enough of the match. So I go through that sometimes once in a while. I feel like I'm not doing that good, and I like to either play defensive or just communicate as much as I can and not engage an opponent that's better than me. Obviously, another way to get Diamond Master much faster is you have to get MVP ribbons. And not only just that, you have to just get a lot of ribbons for, you know, a lot of ways to get it. Getting headshots or downing people a lot, or staying alive and not dying. If you don't die, you're in the ribbon where you just don't die. It's a pretty cool ribbon. I forgot what it's called, but you guys get my point. You must get ribbons. You must get the highest points to get MVP. And to do that, obviously, here's the tip right here. Try to get your home hill as much as you can. Remember, when you score a hill, you get 200 points for free. So that's obviously the best way to get 200 points right off the bat is the middle hill. But remember that you're giving the enemy team an advantage to try to get the middle hill. So that's something you need to take account there. But unless you're having a good time and beating them up and they're losing really badly, then try to get your home hill so you get a free 200 points. But other than that, if it's a big, sweaty, tough game and you need to win, then ignore that, because it's more important to get the win than it is to get MVP ribbons. Because remember, if you lose twice, you take 20 steps back. So it's very hard to get your rank back. And that's why it's so hard to even get Diamond Master in the first place. But I'm just saying, like, if you get MP medals, you basically your percentage goes up much faster. So obviously, to get MVP is try score the hill as much as you can. Try to lancer, down people as much as you can, get headshots, or just get so many kills. If you could get so many hills and so many kills, you should be able to get MVP, unless your teammate's doing better than you. But in that, you have to really stand up towards everybody, and it's something else. But I tell you, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't barely get MVP medals, and I sort of struggled to get a high percentage in Diamond Master. It's crazy, man. And I only lost 10 times Escalation so far out of like 300 games I've played. So I'm just warning you guys again that it's gonna be tough. And any of you guys watching this video, I'm pretty sure there's not much of you guys that even got Diamond 5 Mastered. There's only gonna be a few people out there that manage to get it. But anyway, guys, I guess that's it for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoy my tips and enjoy this video. I pretty much think I said everything I need to say for you to be successful in Escalation, but I want you guys comment on my channel and below and let me know, are you Diamond Master in any of the game modes, and what did you do to get Diamond Master? But anyway, guys, I hope everybody's having a great day, and I'm happy to make a video because it's been quite a while, but I managed to make a new video, thank God, and I never thought I was able to get Diamond Master in Escalation. But anyway, guys, that's it for today's video. Bye-bye.